Hey, Sunshine Seekers, it's your girl Sunshine, and welcome to another radiant episode of Energize Your Passion. This is the space where we spark joy, build confidence, and recharge our souls for all the amazing things life has to offer. Today's episode is super close to my heart because we're diving into how solo travel can transform your life and help you truly discover yourself. Whether you've been traveling alone or you're a seasoned solo adventurer, this episode is packed with stories, inspiration, and practical tips to motivate you to take that leap. Now, solo travel isn't just about snapping Instagram worthy photos or ticking off destinations on a map. Though, let's be real, that's the fun part. It's about peeling back the layers of who you are, finding your strengths, and embracing your independence. It's also about those unexpected moments when the world surprises you and teaches you things you never knew you needed to learn. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's explore the magic of going solo. Segment 1, The Call of the Unknown. Why solo travel is a catalyst for self-discovery. Let's start with why solo travel is more than just a journey from one place to another. It's a journey into yourself. When you step away from the familiar, your routine, your circle of friends, your safety net, you make space to hear your own voice more clearly. You're no longer defined by the roles you play in your everyday life. You get to be fully and authentically you. Solo travel is like stepping into a blank canvas, where the only color that matters are the ones you choose to paint with. Imagine being in a place where no one knows your history, your job title, or even your name. There's a quiet liberation in that. You don't have to perform or fit into anyone's preconceived notions. Instead, you can stand anew, guided solely by your inner compass. Think about this. How often do we allow ourselves to pause and reflect in our busy lives? Solo travel gives you permission to disconnect from external noise and reconnect with your core. It's about asking yourself, what do I truly want right now, in this moment? Maybe it's to explore a bustling market or to sit quietly by a lakeside with nothing but your thoughts. These moments help you discover what truly feeds your soul. Picture yourself sitting on a secluded beach, watching the waves crash endlessly against the shore, or hiking through a dense forest, the sunlight filtering through the canopy above. There's no one around to distract you, no notifications buzzing in your pocket. These moments of solitude can be intimidating at first. Silence can feel deafening when you're not used to it. But as you sit with yourself, you begin to notice a shift. Your mind clears, your heart opens, and suddenly it's like it feels as though the universe is whispering answers to the questions you didn't even know you had. Emma from Portland shared her first solo backpacking trip to the Pacific Northwest. She started with doubt about being alone in the wilderness, but ended the trip with a deep appreciation for her own company. She told me, I realized that I wasn't alone. I had myself, and that was enough. Doesn't that give you chills? Let's take a moment to really appreciate Emma's experience. Imagine the courage it took for her to step into the wilderness, surrounded by nothing but nature and her thoughts. She told me she began the hike feeling nervous, constantly questioning whether she had made the right choice. But as she progressed along the trails, something beautiful happened. She stopped focusing on what she lacked and started noticing what she had. She found joy in the rustling leaves, the crisp air, and the rhythm of her footsteps. By the time she set up her campsite, she felt a sense of peace she hadn't experienced in years. Emma's journey teaches us that solitude doesn't have to be lonely. In fact, it can be profoundly enriching. It's in these quick moments, away from the chatter of the world, that we come to understand ourselves better. Emma discovered that she could be her own source of comfort, her own source of joy, and isn't that a lesson we could all use? Josh from Toronto went on a solo road trip after a tough breakup. He wrote, "Driving alone with just the open road and my thoughts gave me the clarity I've been searching for. It felt like the universe was guiding me through the quiet moments." Wow, Josh, what a beautiful way to turn pain into growth. Josh's story is another reminder of the healing power of solo travel. Breakups, as we all know, can leave us feeling unmoored, questioning our own worth or direction. For Josh, the road became a metaphor for moving forward. He didn't set out with a strict itinerary, he simply allowed himself to drive, to feel, and to process. Imagine the freedom he must have felt, rolling down the windows, the wind rushing in, and his favorite playlist filling the car. The open road became his therapist, and each mile brought him closer to clarity. He mentioned how he stopped whenever something caught his eye: a roadside dinner, a scenic overlook, or a quiet park. He let his instinct guide him, and in doing so, he found a sense of control and empowerment that had been missing in his life. Josh's story reminds us that solo travel isn't just about the place we visit. It's about the emotional journey we take along the way. It's about allowing yourself the space to heal, to reflect, and to rediscover your strength. Emma and Josh's stories show us that stepping into the unknown can be intimidating, but it also where transformation begins. Solo travel gives you the gift of self-reliance, the joy of rediscovering your inner voice, and the courage to embrace your authentic self. But what about the fears that hold so many of us back? You know, those little voices that say, what if something goes wrong? What if I'm not brave enough? In the next segment, we're going to dive into those fears head on and talk about how solo travel helps you build courage and break down barriers. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Segment 2, Building Courage and Breaking Barriers. Let's be real, solo travel can feel intimidating. You're likely asking, what if I get lonely? What if something goes wrong? Or maybe you've heard people say, traveling alone is dangerous. Or aren't you worried about being bored? Well, today we're busting those myths wide open and talking about how to face these fears head on. Let's talk about fear. Fear gets a bad rap, but it's not inherently a bad thing. Fear is simply your mind trying to keep you safe. It's a natural reaction to stepping into something unfamiliar. But here's the magic. Fear can also be a sign that you're on the verge of something incredible. When you push through those initial doubts and worries, you come out on the other side stronger, braver, and more confident than you ever thought possible. Solo travel, by its very nature, asks you to trust yourself in a way you might not have before. When you're traveling alone, you're responsible for every decision, choosing your itinerary, figuring out your directions, and deciding how to spend your time. This level of autonomy can feel daunting at first, but it's also deeply empowering. It's like discovering a hidden superpower you didn't know you had. And yes, challenges will come. Maybe your flight gets delayed, or you get lost trying to find your hotel. But here's the thing, each challenge is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can handle it. You'll find yourself saying, I did that. I figured it out. I'm capable. That feeling of accomplishment stays with you long after the trip is over. Sophia from Atlanta was nervous about flying solo to Paris, but she told herself, I'll never forget the sense of accomplishment I felt navigating the metro and ordering coffee in French. I learned that I'm more capable than I give myself credit for. Sophia, we're so proud of you. Let's take a closer look at Sophia's journey. Think about the courage it took for her to board that plane to Paris, knowing she'll be stepping into a city where she didn't fully speak the language. For Sophia, every small success became a victory. Navigating the metro wasn't just about getting from point A to point B. It was about proving to herself that she could solve problems on her own. Ordering coffee in French wasn't just about the beverage. It was about connecting with a new culture and stepping into a role she might have shield away from in the past. Sophia shared how those moments of accomplishment started to build on one another. By the end of her trip, she wasn't just surviving in Paris, she was thriving. She explored hidden corners of the city, made spontaneous decisions, and even found herself striking up conversations with the locals. The trip became a turning point, showing her that she didn't need to wait for someone else to validate her experiences. Sophia's story is a reminder that courage doesn't have to mean grand gestures. Sometimes it's found in the small, everyday actions that push you just a little bit outside of your comfort zone. Carlos from Austin said he hesitated to hike alone in the Rockies, but found the experience meditative. I met another solo hiker on the trail, he shared, and we ended up talking for hours. That connection couldn't have happened if it had been in a group. Carlos, you're living proof of the magic of stepping out of your comfort zone. Carlos's story highlights another incredible benefit of solo travel, the unexpected connections. When you're alone, you're more open to engaging with your surrounding and the people you meet. For Carlos, hiking solo wasn't just about breathtaking views or the physical challenge. It became a spiritual and emotional journey, one where he could reflect, recharge, and feel a deeper connection to himself and the world around him. Meeting another solo hiker was the cherry on top because Carlos wasn't focused on maintaining group dynamics. He had the freedom to connect with someone he might not have otherwise met. That spontaneous, hour-long conversation was a moment of serendipity, a reminder that traveling alone doesn't mean you have to be isolated. Carlos also mentioned how the experience shifted his perspective. Before the trip, he viewed himself as someone who needed the comfort of a group to feel safe or confident. By the end of his hike, he realized that he could find strength and fulfillment in his own company. That shift in mindset is something he carried with him long after the Rockies. One of the most common stereotypes about solo traveling is that it's lonely, especially for women. But here's the truth. Solo travel is only as lonely as you make it. In fact, many solo travelers report feeling more connected to the world because they're not wrapped in the bubble of a group. When you're on your own, you're more likely to notice the beauty of your surroundings, strike a conversation with a stranger, or Dive headfirst into a new experience. Another myth is that solo travel is dangerous. And while it's important to stay mindful of safety, more fear are rooted in the unknown rather than reality. Planning, researching your destination, and trusting your instincts go a long way in ensuring a safe trip. Remember, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward despite it. Sophia and Carlos remind us that fear doesn't have to be a roadblock, it can be a stepping stone. Solo travel helps you break down barriers, both the ones society places on you and the ones you place on yourself. But courage is just one piece of the puzzle. In our next segment, we'll explore the transformative power of connection, the people you meet, the cultures you embrace, and the way those experiences shape who you are. Solo travel may begin as an individual journey, but it often leads to some of the most meaningful relationships of our life. Stay tuned. Segment 3, the lessons in the journey. Here's the thing. Solo travel isn't just about the destination. It's about what happens along the way. Those little lessons you pick up, like how to be patient when plans go awry, or how to find joy in the simple moments. They stay with you long after the trip is over. Solo travel is like life in fast forward. You encounter challenges and victories daily that mimic the ups and downs we all face in our everyday lives. The difference? When you're traveling alone, there's no buffer. You have to figure things out on your own. And in doing so, you gain an incredible sense of resilience. Let's talk about uncertainty. Most of us love a good plan. We like to know where we're going, how we're getting there, and what we'll do once we arrive. But travel has a funny way of throwing curveballs. Maybe your bus breaks down, or a museum you plan to visit is closed. Solo travel teaches you to roll with the punches, to see these moments not as problems, but as part of the adventure. This ability to adapt becomes a skill you'll use long after the trip ends. And then there's the joy of the small moments. When you're not rushing to stick to a group schedule or worried about what others want to do, you notice things like the scent of fresh bread from a bakery you pass on a quiet street or the laughter of children playing in the park. These moments remind you to slow down and savor the world around you. Ravi from San Diego shared how getting lost in Tokyo turned into his favorite memory. I stumbled upon a tiny ramen shop and had the best meal of my life, he said. Sometimes the best plans are no plans. Ravi, we couldn't agree with you more. Let's unpack that for a moment. Getting lost can feel overwhelming, especially in a bustling city like Tokyo. But Ravi's story is a perfect example of how letting go of control can lead to something extraordinary. Imagine wandering through narrow streets, the hum of neon lights above, the aroma of delicious food wafting through the air. Then you turn a corner and discover a little gem, a ramen shop you could have never found if you've stuck to your planned route. Ravi's spontaneous detour didn't just give him a great meal, it gave him a story to tell, a memory he'll carry forever. This is the magic of solo travel. It transforms what feels like a mistake into a moment of serendipity. That's a lesson in trusting that even when things don't go as planned, they can still lead to something wonderful. Olivia from Denver recalled how volunteering at an animal sanctuary in Thailand during her solo trip taught her to slow down and appreciate life's beauty. Caring for elephants reminded me to be present and grateful for each moment, she said. Olivia, what a heartwarming story. Olivia's experience is a beautiful reminder of the power of presence. In today's fast-paced world, it's so easy to get caught up in what's next. Our to-do lists, our goals, our plans. But when Olivia spent time caring for elephants, she found herself grounded in the moment. Imagine sitting next to these gentle giants, feeling their rough skin under your fingertips, hearing their deep, rumbling breaths. It's a humbling experience, one that forces you to slow down and simply be. Her story also highlights how solo travel often gives us the chance to give back. Volunteering isn't just about helping others, it's also a way to connect with the world on a deeper level. For Olivia, this connection didn't just teach her about elephants, it taught her about herself, about the importance of gratitude and mindfulness. These lessons, embracing spontaneity, slowing down, and finding beauty in unexpected places, are what makes solo travel so transformative. They're not just travel lessons, they're life lessons. Ravi's story reminds us to let go of rigid expectations and make room for magic. Olivia's story shows us the value of being fully present and finding purpose in the simple act of caring for others. And isn't that what life is all about? It's not just about the big milestones, but the little everyday moments that make it all worthwhile. Solo travel teaches you to recognize and cherish those moments, whether you're halfway across the world or right in your own backyard. Ravi and Olivia's story shows us how the lesson learned while traveling solo extends far beyond the journey itself. But there's one more piece to this puzzle. The way solo travel helps you rediscover your sense of wonder. In our next segment, we'll discover how traveling alone sparks creativity and opens your heart to the beauty of the world around you. Stay with us. Segment 4, Practical Tips for Your Solo Adventure. Okay, we've talked about why solo travel is amazing and what it can teach you. But let's get into the nitty-gritty. How do you actually make it happen? Don't worry, I've got you covered with some practical tips to help you plan your first or your next solo adventure with confidence. Solo travel can seem daunting at first, but with a little preparation, it becomes an empowering and rewarding experience. Think of planning as part of the adventure. Each step, choosing your destination, booking your stay, and mapping out activities is like planting the seeds for the memories you'll create. For beginners, starting small is key. A weekend away to a nearby destination is a great way to dip your toes into the solo travel experience. Whether it's a cozy cabin in the mountains or a vibrant city just a few hours away, these shorter trips can help you build confidence. You'll get a taste of the freedom and self-reliance that comes with traveling alone without the overwhelm of navigating a completely foreign place. Research can be the difference between a stressful trip and a smooth one. Take the time to familiarize yourself with the culture, customs, and local etiquettes for your chosen destination. Knowing a few key phrases in the local language can go a long way in making you feel more comfortable and connected. Safety research is also crucial. Learn about areas to avoid, transportation options, and any local scams to watch out for. Creating a flexible itinerary is another useful tip. While it's great to have a plan, leave room for spontaneity. Some of the best travel experiences come from unplanned detours or last minute discoveries. Balance must see activities with time to wonder and explore. Tina from Seattle shared her tip for staying safe while traveling solo. I always share my itinerary with a friend back home and check in daily. It gives me peace of mind and let my loved ones know I am safe. Tina, that's such a smart practice. Tina's advice is especially valuable for solo travelers. Sharing your plans with someone you trust not only provides an added layer of security, but also helps you feel more connected to home while you're away. Many solo travelers also use apps that share their real time location with trusted contacts, adding an extra layer of reassurance. Beyond safety, keeping a friend or family member updated can enhance the overall experience. It's fun to share little updates like a photo of a breathtaking view or a quick note about an incredible meal. These small connections remind you that while you're traveling solo, you're not completely alone. James from New York swears by packing light. I learned the hard way that carrying too much luggage makes solo travel stressful. Now I only pack the essential, and it's been a game changer. Thanks, James. That's advice we all can use. James's story is a gentle reminder that less is more. Overpacking can weigh you down, both physically and mentally. When you're traveling solo, mobility is key. You want to be able to move easily without worrying about lugging around heavy bags. Focus on versatile clothing items that can be mixed and matched, and consider packing travel size toiletries. A lightweight backpack or carry on suitcase is often enough, even for long trips. Where you stay can make a huge difference in your solo travel experience. Hostels, guest houses, and boutique hotels with communal spaces are fantastic options for solo travelers looking to meet others. Many of these places organize group activities like city tours or game nights, making it easy to connect with fellow adventurers. For those who prefer more privacy, consider booking a small apartment or a private room through platforms like Airbnb. Look for accommodation with strong reviews and prioritize safety features like secure locks and central locations. Solo travel doesn't mean you have to be alone all the time. In fact, it often creates opportunities to meet people you might not have connected with otherwise. Signing up for local experiences like a cooking class, a hiking tour, or even a wine tasting can be a great way to mingle with locals and other travelers. One of the simplest yet most rewarding ways to connect with others is to strike up conversation. Whether you're in a cafe, waiting in line, or exploring a market, a friendly smile and a hello can lead to meaningful exchanges. We've covered a lot of ground on the practical side of solo travel, from planning your trip to meeting new people along the way. But what happens when the trip is over? In our next segment, we'll explore how the lessons and memories from your solo travel can transform your life back home. Stay tuned. Segment 5, Embracing the Journey. Wow, we've covered so much today, haven't we? Let's take a moment to revisit the incredible journey we've been on together. As we reflect on everything we've explored in this episode, it's clear that solo travel is more than just a physical adventure. It's a transformational experience that touches every corner of your life, from finding yourself in moments of solitude to discovering unexpected connections. Solo travel isn't just about the places you visit, it's about who you become along the way. Let's review the four pillars we've discussed. Number one, the call of the unknown. Solo travel pushes you to step away from the roles and routines that often define you. It's about peeling back those layers and reconnecting with your inner self. Remember Emma from Portland who found strength and peace in her own company? Or Josh from Toronto who turned the pain of breakup into a journey of clarity and growth? Their stories remind us that embracing the unknown often leads to profound self discovery. Number two, building courage and breaking barriers. Stepping into solo travel requires bravery, but it rewards you with resilience and independence. Sophia's story of navigating Paris and Carlos's meditative hike through the Rockies showed us that courage is built one small step at a time. Whether it's ordering coffee in another language or hiking a remote trail, these moments prove that fear can be a stepping stone rather than a roadblock. Number three, the lessons in the journey. Ravi detour in Toronto and Olivia's time volunteering in Thailand illustrated how solo travel teaches you to embrace the unexpected. It's in the unplanned moments, getting lost in the city, discovering hidden gems, or slowing down to care for others, that we learn adaptability, gratitude, and the beauty of living in the present. These lessons stay with you long after the journey ends, shaping the way you approach life. And number four, practical tips for your solo travel. Tina and James provided valuable advice to make your solo journey smoother. Tina's emphasis on staying connected for safety and James's packing light philosophy highlight the importance of preparation. Researching your destination, choosing the right accommodations, and staying open to meeting new people are key to enjoying every moment of your trip. Listen, if you've been thinking about taking that solo trip but holding back because of fear, let this be your sign. Start small, take one step at a time, and trust in your ability to navigate the adventure. You're stronger and more capable than you know. It's normal to feel apprehensive about stepping into something new, but the best thing in life often lie on the other side of fear. Think about the stories you've heard today. Every listener who shared their experience started with doubts, yet each of them came out stronger, braver, and more fulfilled. You can do the same, whether it's a short weekend getaway or a dream trip abroad. The journey begins with just one step. And don't forget, solo travel is what you make of it. It doesn't have to follow anyone else's rules or expectations. If you want to spend your entire trip exploring museums, do it. If you'd rather spend the day lounging in a park with a good book, that's perfect too. The beauty of solo travel is that it's entirely yours. It's your time, your pace, and your adventure. As we wrap up this episode, I hope you feel inspired to take the leap into solo travel. Remember, it's not about having all the answers, but about being open to possibilities. The world is out there waiting for you, full of lessons, beauty, and connections, just waiting to be discovered. So go on, pack that bag, and take your first step towards an adventure that could change your life. If you've loved this episode, and I hope you did, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend who could use a little inspiration. Give us a 5-star rating and let us know your thoughts. And hey, If you have your own solo travel story, I love to hear it. Send me a message, and who knows, you might just be featured on a future episode. Your stories are what make this podcast so special. And every time I read about your adventures, I'm reminded of the incredible power of stepping into the unknown. So if you've got a story to share, whether it's about conquering your fears, discovering a hidden gem, or learning a valuable life lesson, I want to hear it. Let's keep this conversation going and inspire others to embrace their own journeys. Stay radiant, stay brave, and most of all, stay you. Until next time, sunshine seekers, keep chasing those dreams, embracing the unknown, and most importantly, energizing your passion. This is Sunshine, signing off with love and light.